Is this evening's political panel. Matt Bennett, Executive Vice President for Public Affairs and Democratic Strategist, alongside Republican strategist Greta Joynes, Policy Director at Brownstein Hyatt Farber Schreck. Thank you both so much for joining us. We were just discussing the Epstein issue with Republican Congresswoman Beth Van Duyne. We also discussed with her, though, the redistricting in Texas, obviously an effort that Democrats in the state are trying their very best to thwart as we speak. Greta, something that Joe asked of the Congresswoman, and I'll ask of you now, is there a chance that this backfires not just in blue states potentially redistricting in retaliation, but in these seats that they think are going to be red, not necessarily being definitively so?
Sure, and I know, as Matt knows, the most important thing is candidate recruitment, right? Republicans can create as many Republican districts as they want, but if they're not pulling out and creating great potential members for voter support, it's not going to work. However, it is important to note that as they're looking at all these districts, one of the current districts in Texas has 400,000 more residents than it did last time they went through redistricting. A lot of those are people coming from California and other blue states, and it's important that all of the new residents of Texas are adequately represented in Congress. And I do think this is an effort Texas constitutionally has the ability to work on and do. It is much more challenging in blue states that Gavin Newsom would like people to believe.
Well, yeah, let's talk about that for a minute, Matt. Is it better strategy for Democrats to spend money in Texas trying to win those seats, or to start passing resolutions in states like California to redistrict other jurisdictions altogether?
I think we definitely have to go after those seats in Texas. What you were referring to, political people call the dummy-mander,
yes,
sort of the gerrymander, and it could be really dumb for Texas Republicans to break up very safe districts and make them slightly less safe for the incumbent Republicans in them. And look, if the economy turns down, and you guys know more about that than I do, but if there is a real downturn, and we're 18 months away here, you could see a fairly large blue wave that could wash away some of the people that they're breaking up their districts. In California, it is like a 15 bank shot
yes.
Move for Newsom. There's a lot that would have to be done, but the upside is pretty big. It could be as many as 5 seats. Now, it could be dummy for us, too, but I think in a midterm with Trump in office, I think it'd be a safer bet for Democrats.
Well, and as you're talking about the potential for a blue wave, is this something Democrats really need to do? Can they not stand on policy alone, pushing back specifically on the policy and the legislation that has passed so far during the second Trump administration?
Well, remember, we're not doing this. This is the Republicans doing this. They're changing the rules in the middle of the game. I mean, it is true that there's been population gain there, but this is not a thing that normally happens. This mid-decade census, mid-decade redistricting, it generally happens only after the census is taken. And so Texas, which Trump won with 56% of the vote, they already have 71% of the House seats. They would get up to upwards of 80% of the House seats if this goes through and they win them all. So this isn't us, this is them.
Talked about town halls for a moment with the Congresswoman. Some of them have been making news for all the wrong reasons, at least if you ask the member of Congress on stage. Last night it was Mike Flood's turn. The Republican congressman from Nebraska faced a very contentious crowd of constituents in his home state. Hundreds showed up. Take a listen to their response to the president's big, beautiful bill.
We've had this conversation before.
We've got Medicare now. We can start rolling back the age 5, 10 years at a time. Would you support that?
We can't afford that.
Why did you cut SNAP and healthcare research?
We do not have unlimited money in the United States.
Wow, Greta, not fun, obviously, and it is somewhat ironic that members like Mike Flood and Brian Stile, who are not MAGA and are arguably moderates in their conference, are the ones being targeted, but they're the ones daring to hold town hall meetings. So we'll, I guess, salute them for that. I guess I'm wondering what you see and hear in moments like that. Are you going to tell me it's Democratic activists being bussed in, or something to worry about in the midterms?
I think that engaging with your constituents is always important, and I applaud both of those members for doing that. I agree with Congresswoman Van Duyne that there are a lot of enraged Democrats who are choosing to spend their time and finding Republican events to attend so they can express their concerns. That is whether they are paid for, whether they are bussed in, that is who is more engaged to go to these events. Ultimately, Republicans are supportive of the president. The polling continually says they are upwards of 80% supportive of where the president is. And the big, beautiful bill was his idea, his name for, I think to the chagrin of some Republicans who maybe weren't quite sure about that. But ultimately, I think that where Democrats want to be is they want to be angry, and they want to bring the base with them. How that's going to play out in an election that is over a year away, I think is TBD.
Well, the bill itself in polling consistently got nowhere close to 80% approval. And I wonder if you think these town halls, regardless of whether or not there are more Democrats there than Republicans, are indicative of potentially Republicans going all the way up to President Trump himself need to find a better way of messaging what they see as the merits of this legislation.
I think the messaging is certainly going to take time. Important to note that a lot of the more contentious parts of the bill are not going into effect until after the midterms. So I think as Republicans are looking at it straight on an election basis, are they concerned about how this bill will be received next cycle? I would say yes, but it is incumbent on Republicans to talk about this bill in a positive way and also get the president to talk about the bill and the achievement within it in order to sell it to the American people.
I don't know if Third Way is busing Democrats to Republican town halls, Matt.
We are not, but we could.
Well, I know that's right.
Yeah.
I do know that you have some carefully honed messaging, though, at Third Way that we're going to start hearing Democrats use. Do they need to hold town hall meetings? Are you buying ad time? Is this for your conversations with the neighbors? How did Democrats win the messaging game here?
Well, at this stage, we're in an odd year, not an even year when the elections are held. It's really about what Democrats are out there saying at their town hall meetings, when they're on television, when they're talking to folks in the grocery store. And the problem for Democrats that we've found is there are just so many different things to attack, things that Trump is doing, things that the Republicans are doing, things that are in the bill that Democrats don't like. They've got to figure out what to focus on that their constituents care about. And the things they care about are the 12 million people that are going to lose health care coverage, the enormous increase in the debt that this bill is bringing. And the reason they're doing it is to give tax cuts mostly to rich people. I mean, allowing people to immediately depreciate their private jet is not a thing that working class people really want. And if they know about it, they really don't like it.
Just quickly, though, to Greta's point, some of those Medicaid cuts, for example, they're not going to hit before the midterms. Is that not a problem?
It was clever of them to design it that way. It is incumbent on Democrats and their allies like me to make sure people know that this is coming. 12 million people are going to lose their coverage. And by the way, that's bad even if you have coverage, because emergency rooms are going to fill up, rural hospitals are going to close. It's going to be bad for everybody.
Matt Bennett and Greta Joins. Great conversation. Thank you both for a great panel.